Hi, this is Karen Deis, publisher of Mortgage Currency magazine, and this is the June 2013 Rule and Regulation Update. I want to start out by telling you you're going to find quite a few articles about the Consumer Finance Protection Bureau, beginning with record retention requirements, exam and audit procedures, ability to repay and LO comp, uniform state testing for loan originators, and the whistleblower policy. Now, some of these supposedly are final updates to the final updates, but here's my take on this thing, is that nothing is ever going to be final. In fact, we're going to see a bunch of updates before the January 2014 implementation date, and even after that, you're going to see little tweaks to their rules and regulations. Now, for loan officers, I suggest that you do read the Qualified Mortgage and LO Comp article that came out. But for company owners and branch managers, read the record retention rules and the exam and audit policy procedure rules. In fact, as an attachment to this article, it's 170 pages, and you can download it and go through and make sure that you know what's expected of you when it comes to an audit from the CFPB or your state. Now, in regards to the whistleblower policy, that's been around for a long time. However, it's now on the front burner for Consumer Finance Protection Bureau, and they're saying that you should have a policy in place that if somebody in your office suspects fraud, money laundering, or noncompliance with the rules, that they have somebody to go to and a procedure in place if they bring that to the forefront. So, on to Fannie. If you read one article this month, read the Fannie update to the selling guides. What Fannie has done is clarify a bunch of gray areas in the past, and while they're going to be incorporated into the guide September 1st, 2013, Fannie is strongly recommending that underwriters use these updates right now in your files. So here's a synopsis of some of the changes. Now, if you do new construction loans, the dates for the documents expiring have been extended to 4 months from a 90-day time period. They also go into great detail on how to figure property taxes in a monthly payment, especially for an escrow account, especially if the taxes have not been assessed yet. It's very, very important you follow the formula that they have outlined in the guide, because this will also go into qualifying for a qualified mortgage rule. So that's what they're preparing for when they came up with this new way of figuring the taxes. Next, they have also gone on to detail what they mean by the most recent tax return. So they've given examples of dates. So when the condition comes through for the most recent tax returns, you'll know, based on their guide, what tax returns to request. So they're also treating checking and savings accounts as a business asset if somebody is self-employed. And they're now allowing housing and they're now allowing housing allowance for church pastors. So this one is really, really huge. How to figure waiting periods for somebody who has derogatory credits such as a foreclosure or a bankruptcy. It used to be that it was from the date of application to the closing date. That was your derogatory waiting period. Well, what was happening is that you didn't really know what that time period was. So if it was, extended, loan officers were canceling the application and starting over again. Well, Fannie's finally got it and said, you know what, you don't have to cancel the loan application anymore, because we're going to use that date as the date from the credit report pull, not the date of application. And if you pull a credit report and you find out that you still need a little bit of extra time, you can pull another credit report and you don't have to cancel the application. Now, based on the questions that we get from subscribers, I can tell you that underwriters, or some of them, are simply not up to date on the rule and regulation changes. So it's up to you to know what they are. And I suggest that you go through some of your files and process, double check some of these rule updates, and also look at some past files that didn't make it. You may be able to resurrect them and close some new, close some additional loans. If you do FHA loans, they have finally acknowledged that some of their loans are not going to meet the qualified mortgage rule that will be going into effect in 2014. So what they're saying basically in this latest memo is that they're working on it. Now, they've provided some guidance to get things figured out. But here's a couple of things that they're saying by January 2014 that you can't do. One is the FHA non-qualifying streamline refinance if it meets the high-priced mortgage loan rules. The other is that the principal and interest payment can't change for at least a 4-year time period, which means no more 3-1 arms for FHA. Not that anybody's doing a whole lot of them now, but you could be in the future as interest rates go up. And about the prepayment penalty rule, which is a no-no when it comes to qualified mortgages. We all know that FHA, on their payoff letters, charge an extra month or two interest depending on when you request the payoff letter. And for years we've been saying, hey, that's really a prepayment penalty, and FHA is saying, no, it's not. That's just how we figure our payoffs. Well, guess what? Dodd-Frank has considered it a prepayment penalty, but FHA went to the powers that be and got that delayed until 2015. So now for a while you're going to see that you're still going to be charged those extra months interest on an FHA payoff, but after 2014 it's going to be figured just like regular conventional loans. Just a reminder that mortgage currency is created with marketing component in mind, with Facebook posts, tweets, and mortgage talking points to keep your real estate agents and consumers up to date. You're going to find them already written for you, and as a subscriber, I recommend that you post or something every 4 or 5 days so people understand and realize that you are an expert in your little corner of the world. So thanks for viewing, and remember that getting a loan approved and closed these days is rocket science.